In the city of Mondstadt, there exist all kinds of different people, personalities both big and small, but few within the walls of the city project such a presence as the Prinzessin Der Verurteilung.
I, Fischl, Prinzessin Der Verurteilung, descend upon this land by the call of fate.
Okay. As an investigator for the Adventurers Guild Intelligence Department, she is as mysterious as one might expect for an individual serving a department usually associated with spies. While it is expected that an investigator's job is to illuminate the many mysteries of Teyvat, those interacting with the one who calls herself Fischl are often left pondering who or what is a Prinzessin Der Verurteilung. As a young girl with the name Amy, much of her time she spent alone in the Mondstadt library. Both of her parents were members of the Adventurers Guild, and thusly were both on the road most days. Only infrequently were they able to stop and check in on their bookish daughter. This left the girl lonely, but ambitious to grow and one day join them. This would blossom into a dream for her to become an adventurer like her parents. Impatient and impressionable as a child, she would spend days on end reading fictional stories of brave heroes destined to overcome tremendous odds. In her own way, she became a brave solo adventurer. The thousands of fictional universes existing in the pages of the library's books became her unknown depths to explore. Eventually, Amy would find resonance with one story in particular, Flowers for Princess Fischl, Volume 1, End Time zur Setzung. In the story, a brave princess, encouraged by her father to follow her dreams, traveled to the kingdom of eternal twilight to be accepted by her royal bloodline into their 1,300-year-old lineage as nobility. But it wasn't to be. They chose to deny Fischl her rightful claim in the line of royalty as princess of the Nachreich. In doing so, they denied their own nobility and were de-evolved into mindless, vicious beasts. They attacked Fischl. While her will to fight for her dream was strong, it wouldn't be enough. The end was near, and fate was closing in. Badly injured, she unknowingly bled upon an ancient symbol. In an instant, it is said that the dark wings of night itself ripped her from the clutches of the beasts and the cruel fate for which she was destined. The King of Ravens, Osvaldo von Heraffweins, had saved her, pledging his eternal loyalty. Amy saw herself in Fischl, a solo adventurer rejected by her family for reasons as a child she can't or won't understand. But as her own fate would have it, the day Amy discovered the story of the Prinzessin Der Verurteilung, she would be visited by her father. Seeing the joy the story had brought to his daughter, and possibly seeing the parallels of Amy's solitude with the lone princess, he encouraged her, asking if she too would like to be called Fischl. He would go on to recite to her a passage from the book, spoken to Fischl by her father before she left on her journey to the kingdom of eternal twilight. It read, "Fischl, you are my wonderful princess and my proud daughter. You shall never surrender your nobility and dreams." From this moment, Amy was gone. She had become Fischl, now set out on her own journey of self-discovery. As a consequence of her newfound identity, she would become something of an outcast to the other children her own age. Fischl would be left often feeling sad or lonely, but she would remember her father's words and remind herself that her parents understand her lonely role. Through that, she could steel her mind against anything. As the girl aged, she continued to insist on being known as Fischl. The quirks of her persona were generally hard for people to understand, which would continue to prevent her from having any real friends. But that was fine by her, as she used the persona as a shield to protect her from the pain of loneliness and isolation. She must have thought, this is what being Fischl was meant to be, and so she held on to that determination to never surrender her nobility and dreams. While the persona Fischl was seemingly invincible, Amy, sadly, was not. On her 14th birthday, Amy's parents came to visit. Growing tired of seeing her live a lie, her father, with the best intentions, suggested that she should hang up her childish dreams and grow up. Amy's world crumbled. Her father's own words as a young girl had set her on this journey, and now he would suggest that she give up her dreams? Uncertain what to do with herself and grief-stricken, she would retreat to the one place she felt safe, the Mondstadt Library. There she cried, and just as it seemed the darkness would consume her, she was overcome by the sound of flapping wings. She raised her head to see what the sound might have been, to find before her the King of Ravens, Osvaldo von Hraffweins himself. Like in the story, he had appeared to Amy at her moment of need and pledged his loyalty to her. At least, that's how Fischl tells the tale of her first meeting with Oz. However, she does dislike talking about it. Thusly, the details of this night aren't fully known, but we might be able to use what we do know to piece it together. Firstly, we have to establish that her abilities are not all in her mind. While Fischl claims that she has been exiled from the otherworld Immernaheich, and in Teyvat she now observes and weaves the threads of fate, Oz arrived with a personality of his own, and it would appear he is capable of communicating with not just Fischl, but others as well. So he does not seem to be a figment of her imagination, and her abilities are certainly real enough for her to be a force to reckon with in combat. We also know that those in Teyvat who are proven worthy will receive an elemental vision. How that element is chosen is unknown, but it might be possible to extrapolate in this instance. With what I've just discussed, we can now theorize it may have been that her pure heart in a moment of weakness was granted the electrovision. Electro is typically associated with storms, and storms with darkness. Amy's connection to the princess's journey in the kingdom of eternal twilight, a land where the light is always just out of reach, could have resulted in a strong connection to the element which most nearly represented her persona. Thusly, Electro reached out to her. It can also be assumed that as Amy continued to live her life as Fischl, she greatly desired to find a familiar herself, to align even more closely with the character she aspired so much to personify. This state of mind would lend strength to the theory. Maybe, with her world crumbling around her, she had focused on her failure to find her own familiar, thusly manifesting her Electro gift in the form of an Electro-Elemental Raven of the Night. Lastly, Amy's new gifts would give her the opportunity to become an adventurer, allowing her to leave the fictional world of Twilight she was living in behind. Maybe in some manner she still wanted to abide by her father's wishes and move beyond her childish dreams, so now she claims to be exiled from the otherworld Immernaheich, from the stories of Fischl, now existing as a multi-universe traveler in Teyvat. Fischl would go on to wear an eye patch, which we can assume is probably unnecessary and intended to credit her desired image. She claims the dragon Dvalin, also known as Storm Terror, to be her arch nemesis, and so the complete persona of Fischl was born.
Creator of the heavens, founder of paradise, behold, it is I, Fischl, the Prinzessin Der Verurteilung.
Fischl's Electro abilities would be bolstered by Oz. When she chooses, she can see through his eyes, giving her a unique bird's-eye view of the world when it suits her needs. With Oz's assistance, she went to work for the Adventurers Guild. Tenacious but quirky, she approached her work with the same obsession that she had with her books, quickly becoming celebrated as the rising star of the Adventurers Guild. Promoted to investigator of the Adventurers Guild Intelligence Department, Fischl today uses her gifts to serve their interests effectively. Her colleagues in the guild have accepted her personality and value, despite her unusual nature. Some have even gone on to create a Fischl dictionary, as a lovingly joking way to translate her curious way of speaking.
Sweet shall be thy sleep, spared of the mares of the night, for no nightmares would dare draw near to those who are blessed by the Immernaheich.
As an adventurer in Teyvat, it would seem Fischl is no longer an outcast. So there we have it. The Fischl persona was created in Amy's mind after reading her tale as a way of coping with the solitude she had known as a child. And then she was tempered into what we see today by the events following her father's exasperated plea for her to act her age and fit in with her peers. In the end, it seems that her real gift wasn't just that she was given the vision of Electro, or that Oz came to her, but rather, because of those gifts, she would be given the opportunity to enjoy the best of both worlds, existing as Fischl while living out Amy's childhood dream to be an adventurer like her parents. What do you think of Fischl, Prinzessin Der Verurteilung? I would love to hear your thoughts on her in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching Teyvat Historia, and may the 7 guide you, travelers.